Okay, I'm doing a part 3 now. Oh, hold on here. Okay. So, your redemption and the redemption of your brethren, even the restoration to the land of Zion, to be established, no more to be thrown down. Nevertheless, if they pollute their inheritances, they shall be thrown down, for I will not spare them if they pollute their inheritances. Behold, I say unto you, the redemption of Zion must needs come by power. Therefore I will raise up unto my people a man who shall lead them like as Moses. Remember Acts chapter 3, 22 and 23, and Moroni talking about the servant who would come forth, who was a Christ, but had not yet been rejected at that time by his people. Who shall lead them like as Moses led the children of Israel? For ye are the children of Israel and the seed of Abraham, and ye must needs be led out of bondage by power, and with a stretched out arm, as your fathers were led at first, even shall the redemption of Zion be. Therefore let not your hearts faint. For I say not unto you, as I said unto your fathers, mine angel shall go up before you, but not my presence. Okay, this is the key part. But I say unto you, mine angel shall go up before you, and also my presence. And in time ye shall possess the goodly land. Verily, verily, I say unto you that my servant Joseph Smith, and Brigham Young spliced Revelations together, and that's what he did here. My servant Joseph Smith Jr. is the man whom I liken the servant to whom the Lord of the vineyard spake in the parable which I have given unto you. And that's Doctrine and Covenants, section 103, verses 11 through 21. See the parable immediately below. And now I will show unto you a parable, that you may know my will concerning the redemption of Zion. A certain nobleman had a spot of land very choice, and he said unto his servant, Go ye unto my servant, even upon this very choice piece of land, and plant 12 olive trees, and set watchmen round about them, and build a tower that one may overlook the land round about, to be a watchman upon the tower, that mine olive trees may not be broken down when the enemy shall come to spoil and take upon themselves the fruit of my vineyard. Now the servants of the nobleman went and did as their Lord commanded them, and planted the olive trees, and built a hedge round about, and set watchmen, and began to build the tower. And while they were yet laying the foundation thereof, they began to say amongst themselves, What need hath the Lord of this tower? Or, to paraphrase, what need hath the Lord of these doctrines that were taught by Joseph Smith and Brigham Young? That's actually happening right now, and it's been happening in the church for a very long time. And consulted for a long time, saying among themselves, What need hath my Lord of this tower? See, they themselves, the watchmen on the tower, are tearing down the tower. The tower is the gospel and the mysteries of the kingdom as revealed by the prophet Joseph Smith, and also expounded upon by Brigham Young, the student of Joseph Smith. Might not this money be given to the exchangers? What's that? The tithing of the people is given to the stock exchanges and the financial advisors, instead of doing the work of the Lord, which is building up Zion, but also taking care of the poor and the sick and the afflicted, and building united orders and doing the things of gathering that they have been commanded to do, and God has not rescinded his commands for these things to happen, yet they have decided to take the money and give it to the exchangers. And that's right in the scriptures. For there is no need of these things, And while they were at variance one with another, they became very slothful, and they hearkened not unto the commandments of their Lord, meaning they did away with the things that were revealed by the prophet Joseph Smith as part of the restoration, because they didn't think that they were necessary. Things like the law of adoption, the united order, and the true order of the law of consecration. The gathering of Israel, the Adam God doctrine. Yes, it is a doctrine. It was taught by Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. Plural celestial marriage. Many of these things, they think that they can tear them down because they are not necessary for the church, and they've decided to basically gaslight the people into saying these things don't matter, or they were never taught, or if they're caught in their lie, they say, yeah, they were taught, but they are the 7 deadly heresies of Brigham Young. But Brigham Young learned them from the prophet Joseph Smith. And they take the wealth of Zion, or the tithings of their church, and they give them to the money exchangers, the stock exchanges, and the investment portfolios, not to do the work of the Lord, but to build up wealth for their own financial interests. Continuing on with the scripture. And the enemy came by night and broke down the hedge, and the servants of the nobleman arose and were affrighted and fled. And the enemy destroyed their works and broke down the olive trees. Now behold, the nobleman, the Lord of the vineyard, called upon his servants and said unto them, Why? What is the cause of this great evil? Because of what they have been doing for the past 160 years. Ought ye not to have done even as I commanded you? But see, they don't. They say, oh, those things aren't necessary for us anymore. We don't have to worry about them. Or they were never taught, or if they're caught in their lie, oh, they're the 7 deadly heresies of Brigham Young, even though Brigham Young learned them from the prophet Joseph Smith. After ye have planted the vineyard and built the hedge round about and set watchmen upon the walls thereof, build the tower also and set a watchman upon the tower and watched for my vineyard. This is what you should have done. This is what he's saying. And not have fallen asleep, lest the enemy should come upon you. And behold, the watchman upon the tower would have seen the enemy while he was yet afar off. But what happens is that these watchmen, they become part of the enemy. The wolves in sheep's clothing. The Babylonian businessmen, who are the lawyers and the financial advisors of the church, and the false administrators, who are those who are meant to be the watchmen, who are not doing their job. And then you could have made ready and kept the enemy from breaking down the hedge thereof, and saved my vineyard from the hands of the destroyer. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto one of his servants, Go and gather together the residue of my servants. And Isaiah talks about the residue, or the remnant of the people. This is what he's talking about. The residue of my servants, and take all the strength of mine house, meaning they are taken away. It's the separation of the wheat and the chaff, or the tares. The tares are taken away so that the church can be burned. Take all the strength of mine house, which are my warriors, my young men, that they that are of middle age also among all my servants, who are the strength of mine house, save those only who I've appointed to tarry. So some are appointed to tarry. And go ye straightway unto the land of my vineyard, and redeem my vineyard, for it is mine. I have bought it with money. Therefore get ye straightway unto my land, break down the walls of mine enemies, throw down their towers, and scatter their watchmen, and insomuch as they gather together against you, avenge me of mine enemies, that by and by I may come with the residue of mine house and possess the land. And the servant said unto his Lord, When shall these things be? And he said unto his servant, When I will. Go ye straightway and do all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And this shall be my seal and blessing upon you, and a faithful and wise steward in the midst of mine house, and a ruler in my kingdom.